How was the math test?
Yvonne Mede's first priority is being a mom. So a particular New York Times article shocked her.
About a 15-year-old girl whose life had been devastated by a non-consensual image of her that was nude.
That image was what's known as a deep fake, a picture that may be created with a real face, but using artificial intelligence to make a fake body.
When I read it, my own daughter, who's now 16, I thought to myself, this would be horrible.
Mede happens to be in a position to do something about it. In addition to being a mom, she's a top litigator in the San Francisco City Attorney's Office. She shared the article with her colleague, fellow mom and lawyer Sarah Eisenberg.
How does this work?
So there's a lot of different ways. I can take a picture of anyone, anytime.
You can take a picture of a girl going to prom.
I can grab it off of her social media page without her even knowing that I have taken it. Go to any number of these websites that are out there and just upload that picture, and it will use artificial intelligence to undress that person.
Mede and Eisenberg's boss, City Attorney David Chu, gave them the go-ahead to pursue legal action against the practice. They say it resulted in a first-of-its-kind lawsuit naming 16 top websites that create and distribute fake nude images of women and girls without consent.
What we found truly horrified us. There have been over 200 million visitors in just these 16 websites alone.
What do you understand that impact to be?
We know that these images have been used to bully, humiliate, and threaten women and girls. The impact on these victims cannot be underestimated.
Those victims range from massive superstars to high school girls across the country. The suit alleges the practice is not just harmful, it's illegal. They argue even the marketing used by the websites obliterates any notion of consent, pointing out one defendant's advertising. Imagine wasting time taking her out on dates when you can just use the website to get her nudes. Contact information for most of the companies named in the lawsuit could not be found.
They have violated deepfake pornography laws, child pornography laws.
Do you really think there's a chance you can get these websites shut down?
Absolutely. I don't think there's anyone who defends what is happening here. We're talking about everyday people who are seeing their faces turned into pornography and, in too many instances, child pornography.
For Mede and Eisenberg, it's a labor of love, both for their constituents and a little closer to home.
You want to make a difference. You want to look back. I get choked up, like you want to make a difference. This makes a difference.
Do you think about your daughter when you feel that way?
I do. I think about my daughter, and I want her to be proud of me. I want her to be proud of what the office does.
Savannah Sellers, NBC News, San Francisco.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.